thinking about me, we, us, right, as a tagline to re-engage this idea that we're unified in those three buckets. What does me mean? It means individual responsibility, autonomy, mastery, purpose we talked about for the last couple of years. We want our folks to feel autonomous, and we want them to actually execute on their own behalf, on the company's behalf, and on that which is in everyone's best interest, right? We want them to become a master at their trade. And we want them to have something deeper inside of them that ultimately makes them feel like they can't wait to get to work that day to make an impression. And then we focus on the partnerships, right? That's the we piece. You guys are all working with clients, you're working with associates, and you're working with customers. All of these partnerships are intertwined, and there's no way to divorce them and do it in a way that's going to differentiate us in the marketplace. So we want to emphasize the partnership element of how we work and why that's important to us as an organization. And then finally, we want to be aligned. That's the us piece. We want to make sure that people understand why we want to grow. We want to understand what performance actually does differentiate us in the marketplace. And we want to understand and believe that we are stewards in a range of different ways for our clients, for ourselves, for our teammates. And that whole picture comes together in the me, we, us conversation. But the real question is, why do we do it? Ultimately, we do it because we think homes matter. We think lifestyles should be organic and real and rich. And we think opportunities are what most people are looking for when they head into the workplace. So the idea is that as we bring me, we, us together, we actually now have a reason for actually pursuing those areas. And on top of that, it allows us to live our values, the integrity, the innovation, the partnership, the autonomy that we described 5 or so years ago when we put this together, and ideally, to ultimately live our ethos. So as we are continuing to grow, we'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow, but as we continue to grow and fight through change and all the other elements that go along with that, collaborate, problem solve, think clearly, be calm, trust the team, do right by people, right? Rise up. Those things all come together in a way that we feel like we're celebrating the brand. That is kind of the glue that brings all these things together. So they're not disparate concepts. They're actually supposed to unify and allow us to continue to evolve in a way that separates us from the alternatives that are in the marketplace. So, as a company, over the past year, we've made significant progress with several key advancements in automation, tech, and growth initiatives. I know you see it and feel it. It's exciting, but it's also change, and it can be difficult, and we acknowledge that. So I'm acutely aware that the meaning of these accomplishments can be diminished when we fail to connect it to the larger purpose. At Alliance, we take genuine pride in building extraordinary buildings, designing exceptional websites, engineering business intelligence platforms, and hopefully running a profitable business. Each of these individually are great, but what I'm talking about is bigger. In my mind, this is personal. The heart of the story is that we want you to invest in us, and we want to invest in you. Most of you began your career with big dreams of where you wanted to take your professional interests. Those shouldn't go away when you join a company. They should expand, right? Most of us want to do rewarding work, and most of us have ideas about what kind of culture we want to work in. So, home starts here. We invite you to challenge one another and to support one another, and don't settle for anything less than building the home and the culture we want to actively participate in together. We acknowledge the tremendous effort put forth each day at your individual communities, creating environments that allow residents to organically connect with a distinctive notion of home. And that's what you do, but how you do it is what most differentiates us as a company. And that is how we build our brand. So Home Starts Here is a brand story. Think for a moment on the components of a brand. There's a tagline, which summarizes a company's overarching theme and purpose. There's a logo, which renders us distinctive and recognizable in the marketplace. And there's the messaging, or more precisely, the mission statement, which communicates ideas to influence behavior and action. And with this tagline, we own the mission. And by extension, underscore the difference between working for a company and investing in something bigger. Said another way, it's the difference between for and with. This is an important concept, and I think it encapsulates the whole idea. Absent a compelling reason to invest in a company, a place to call home, an employee might show up wondering what all has been done for them. But when the reason is clear and associates are wholly invested, the attitude shifts to what might we do with one another. It changes the conversation. It stimulates and energizes the environment. It encourages one's sense of responsibility to migrate inward rather than drift outward. And that is the intent. It's designed to strengthen our connections with one another, with our residents, our clients, and the mission itself. In other words, we want to treat each other like family, which is why we say, home starts here. These are the ideas I want us to be reflecting on throughout the day, throughout the conference, and throughout the entirety of 2020. Reflect on how a theme like Home Starts Here is more than a slogan. It encapsulates the multifaceted nature of home. It acknowledges our fervent commitment to every Alliance resident, and it expresses succinctly where we are headed in 2020 and beyond. But it starts right here. So with that, it is my pleasure to say, welcome home, Alliance. And for those of you who are brand new to Arcx, welcome to the family.